guys, welcome back to another episode of All Things Aesthetics. My name's Lindsay and today we're going to be talking about what you would do if you came across a vascular occlusion. So we're going to be going through bits and bobs about what a VO looks like. When I say VO, I'm referring to a vascular occlusion. So what a VO can look like, what it presents like, the difference between a genuine VO and a compromise, and what you can do and what steps you would take to resolve this. I've got another video for purely mixing up hyaluronidase and dissolving, and I am going to do another updated version of that. So obviously this video would be the prep for before you dissolve, and then that one is going to be a new one. So this is everything that you would do before or as soon as you see the VO, basically. So if that's for you, stay tuned and we will go through the steps. Okay, so first things first, what is a VO? So when I say VO, I'm referring to a vascular occlusion. A VO is when you have dermal filler injected directly into one of your arteries. So one of your blood vessels, if you're getting your lips done or your nose or whatever it is, and the injector injects filler into one of the vessels, it will become blocked or it can become partially blocked. And yeah, that's basically what it is. So there's two types. You've got a genuine vascular occlusion and you've also got a compromise. So these two present pretty much the exact same. I think they are exact same. I've never seen a difference with either of them. So when you get a genuine vascular I can't even speak today, God help me. So when you get a genuine vascular occlusion, this is where the filler is directly injected inside the artery. So the signs are whiteness, tingling in the area, numbness, it feels cold, the skin's blotchy, it's mottling. In some areas of the face you can get pustules such as the nose, rashes, all them sorts of things. With a compromise, it's the exact same thing. So a compromise is basically where I explain it as if those, say like someone's stepping on a hose. So your injector, or if you are the injector, might have injected next to an artery. So when you're in clinic, your lips might look absolutely fine because the filler's not in the artery, they're great. You then go home and the swelling kicks in, it's really hot at the minute, so they really swell, your vessels dilate, which is a high risk anyway. And then where the filler was injected here and your arteries here, as you go home and the swelling starts to get more and more, they start to get pushed together, okay? And then the pressure's on. So it's like your arteries here and the filler's pressing against it, so it's sort of stepping on a hose, and the blood flow can't get through because it's being pushed. So that's a compromise. Again, because the blood flow can't get through, the signs and symptoms are exactly the same. So normally when you're in clinic and either you as a practitioner have injected directly into the artery, or the client, whatever it is, whatever way round it is, normally a genuine vascular occlusion is pretty instant. If you're injecting dermal filler and you've got the syringe in your hand and you're going like this and you block the artery, you're going to see it before you've even normally taken the needle out. Obviously, that's not the case for everybody. This is just an example. It depends how much has been injected, on what area of the face, at what what technique. If you're doing a linear technique and you're injecting as you're coming out, you might only cross over the artery by like a mil, and you might just get a little bit, so it's going to slow down the blood flow. Whereas if you're injecting a bolus in the chin or the cheek, and you're injecting quite a big bolus and you're directly in the artery, that's got a massive more chance of complete blockage. So the ways around it that we try and prevent this from happening is aspiration. There's a lot of grey area around aspiration. We're not going to go into that because that'll be a whole nother video. But aspirating doesn't mean you're completely safe. When you're injecting, if you're aspirating personally for me, if I'm injecting cheeks, chin, nose, jaw, wherever it is, and I'm injecting a bolus of filler and I'm on bone steady, I will aspirate. I don't know why I'm doing the action, but I will aspirate because in my mind, I'm not moving. I'm just putting the needle there. Do you know what? I'm going to draw it for you. Guys, it's my really good drawing here. Okay, so, hold on, I'm going to block out the light now. So the way I explain aspirating to pick, oh, my light's gone on my thing. Don't worry, let's carry on. The way, I'm gonna take that light out. I've got my little like TikTok one as like a little extra, but we'll just move. I've lost the charger. Anyway, so the way I explain aspirating to my clients and my students, I personally don't aspirate in the lips. I know, kill me. I'll explain why, okay? When I do cheeks, chin, jaw, nose, whatever else it is, and I'm injecting a bolus, I do aspirate for 10 seconds. And there's a reason why. So I'm looking here at the camera, I'm not here at the actual film because I'm trying to explain stuff. So when I inject lips, I'm always injecting in a linear. A linear, for those who don't know, is when you put the needle in and then you inject as you're coming out like this, like in a line. So all of that as I come out would be filler. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's a linear. So say like this is an artery, okay? If I put my needle all the way in and I've gone through the artery and the tip of the needle is here, yeah, can you see that? That's the tip of the needle there. If I aspirate here, I'm not going to get a positive flashback because I'm not in the artery here. Does that make sense? But when I'm injecting as I'm coming out like this, so I'm injecting as I'm pulling out now, oh, I'm in the artery, even though I've aspirated. And that's what people say, but I aspirated, Lindsay. Doesn't matter. You've done a linear injection, so you've moved out of position to where you've aspirated from. A lot of people do still aspirate when they're doing linears. It's not to say that you can't. If it makes you feel more confident as an injector, that's absolutely fine. I'm not saying don't do it. You know, there is a benefit to it. Just for me personally, it doesn't make sense. So if something doesn't make sense to me, I'm not going to do it. So I pop the needle in, aspirate here, it's absolutely fine. So I think, oh, lovely, I'm clear. Pull out, oh, blocked it. And then you're like, but I aspirated. Does that make sense, right? If I put the needle, can you see actually? Yeah, if I put the needle in the lip here and I aspirate, I'm going to get a flashback because I'm directly in the artery, yeah? Even though obviously I've not moved yet or whatever, so I'm going to think, oh, I'm in it. So there's pros and cons to everything, but that is my reason why I don't aspirate in lips, because I'm constantly moving. I've never once put the needle in and injected a lump of filler like I do in the face. I've never done that in a lip. So aspiration in the lip for me is a bit pointless. It's a bit futile, in the words of James Corden. So that's why. When you're doing a bolus, such as cheeks, chin, you know, like I've said a million times, you put the needle in like this for anyone who doesn't inject, and you aspirate once you've hit the bone. So you put the needle all the way in, you aspirate when you're on the bone and you're staying still. You're not moving in a fanning technique. The reason why we do it in lips is because you don't want to inject lumps in the lips. You want it to go in as a smooth consistency. So when you're injecting boluses, you're using a thicker filler for most areas because it has to mimic the bone and you have to be putting it on the bone. So I don't want to start fanning fine bits of filler all around my cheek because it's not going to do anything. You're injecting a lump to contour with. So that for me makes sense, because if I'm putting the needle in, as I said, and I'm aspirating, because I'm not moving, so I'm putting the needle in and I know that I'm injecting a lump there, so I will aspirate because I know that when I inject, I'm not going to move the needle tip. So I'll put the needle in and aspirate. If I get a flashback, I'll come straight back out, change it over, reposition myself and go again. You just aspirate for a little bit longer just to make sure, all right? But if I didn't aspirate, and I put my needle in here in the vessel, yeah, and I didn't aspirate, and I whacked in a big bolus of filler in there, I'm going to block the entire artery. Whereas with a linear, when you're putting the needle in, say like I aspirated here, I don't, you know, but say I aspirated there, and then I started injecting as I come out, in here, more than likely not going to be completely blocked because you're only injecting a finer filler at a much less rate, plus you're moving through. Does that make sense? Oh, sorry, this isn't some sort of like anatomy class, but I just wanted to give you a better understanding of why I don't in the lips, if that makes sense. I've completely gone off track why I even was talking about that. That's a good start. Yeah, I was saying, weren't I? It depends what bloody area you're doing it in. So yeah, it depends what area you're injecting as to what, you know, the signs and symptoms are going to be. Noses prevent a lot differently to other places. I know that now, out of learning. And yes, guys, nobody's perfect in this industry. Everyone's learning every day. So yes, noses present a little bit differently to everywhere else. So let's just say we're doing it for lips as such for now. Let's just stick on like a ballpark general thing. So you've injected someone's lips, and as you've injected, or literally just before they're going to leave or something, you've noticed a big white area and you think, oh my god, is that it? And your heart sinks and you think, this is it, this is like the time that I need to, you know, remember my dissolving. So what you're going to do first is you're going to check the area. Okay, most of the time it's compression. I get it a lot when I'm injecting lips. Halfway through I'll get a white patch, and if I'm, you know, showing a student or something and they go, oh Lindsay, it's a bit white, I'll say it's fine, it'll massage out at the end. But that comes with experience. I feel like I can sort of tell if it's a VO or not. I've had a couple of genuine VOs that I've recognised and dealt with, and when it comes to a little bit of compression, I can sort of tell by how much I've put in and how white it's gone. Sorry, it's not going to make any sense, but that's just, I've sort of worked it out on that basis. So anyway, you've done someone's lips and it's gone a little bit white. They might have had a little bit of sharp pain there, and they might have gone, oh, that one really hurt, and you see it start to go white. This is where your fear is going to kick in. Don't panic. Everything's reversible. Everything's fine. It's only bad if you send them home and you don't sort it out. All right? Everyone take a chill pill. It's reversible. It's what you've got your emergency kits for. All right? So you're going to stay very calm, and you're going to go and get, the first thing first is massage. So before I do anything, if I see anything go white, I just go, oh, give it a little pinch like that. See if the blood flow comes back. If it doesn't, bit harder, bit more, rub. Hold it for 10 seconds, let go. Does it come back? 9 times out of 10 it does. If it doesn't, which if it does, that means obviously it's compression. If it doesn't come back, that's when you go for the hot and cold compress. So I've only just recently learnt the cold bit. Again, like I say, guys, I'm learning every day. So I've always gone with, cold bit. I did say that, didn't I? I'm losing my head. Anyway, you go for hot compress, right? So what the heat does is it dilates the vessel, so it opens it up, so it pushes the blood flow through, okay? So you want to apply heat, which normally brings the blood flow back. Massage again. I didn't know about this bit, but doing my level 7 training, A training actually said, you do cold as well, don't you? And I was like, of course I don't do cold. I'm not trying to restrict the blood flow, looking like an absolute div. And yeah, recently I just found out that it does make sense. If you do hot, cold, you're restricting and then dilating, and then restricting, dilating. So you've got more chance of opening and closing. Does that make sense? Yeah, so that's new. A training taught me that. So yeah, shout out to A training. That was really, really good. So yeah, open, close. Hot and cold, on and off. If that is not working, so hot compress for 5 minutes, massage, no luck. Cold compress for 5 minutes, massage, no luck, on and off, keep alternating. I do that for about half an hour. If there's no improvement after that, you can then move on to give the client a blood thinner. Aspirin is the main, choice, but remember to check that they do not have an allergy to aspirin. Quite a few people have aspirin allergy. You don't want to make the situation worse. So always check that your client doesn't have an allergy. If they're fine with aspirin, give an aspirin, get them to take it in the clinic, wait 20 minutes or so, and then keep repeating the process, all right? If this doesn't work and you've done the hot and cold compress, you've done your massage, you've done your aspirin, they've been there for an hour or so, nothing's budging, and you can see, you're doing your capillary refill, which is where you press down on the area for 10 seconds, very firm, let go, and the blood flow should return within 2 seconds max. If it doesn't and the area is still really white, or they're showing other signs, they're saying it's really cold, it's tingly, it's really painful, then that's when you go for the dissolver. All right, so that is my step-by-step of what to do. I'm gonna do the dissolving video again, just so that it's all updated for you guys and so it's easy for you to see. So yeah, step by step, just take it as slow as possible, as calm as possible. Don't freak out. The second you freak out, your client freaks out, all right? So don't worry about it. Everything's reversible. Very important in this industry to have a good network of support. If you do not have support, and you know, you might live in an area where you're the only person doing aesthetics, or you're new and you don't know anyone, reach out to somebody near you for support, because you could be the best person in this industry, and you know, it's always better to have a second pair of eyes. You know, everyone needs support in this industry. Don't feel like you're better than everyone else, because you're not. There'll always be a time when you need support, all right? I'm an active believer in that. Everyone needs support. Everyone needs help once in a while. So very important to have a network of friends and support around you. Yeah, if you don't have that, reach out to someone near you or DM me. I'm more than happy to be there as an emergency if anyone needs my help, or you know, anyone wants to shout or have a second pair of eyes, look at anything, more than happy to do that. So I hope that helps. That is the how-to VO version of what you should do if you do get a VO in your clinic, or if you have one as a client. Always reach out to your practitioner if you believe that you have, you know, any of these symptoms relating to a VO. Really important. It's only a problem if you can't get it out straight away. If you recognize it straight away and it's out, you're absolutely fine. Okay, so yeah, I hope this really helped. Give it a like, thumbs up, comment below what you would like me to do my next video on, and please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me. I'm so close to getting 1,000 subscribers. I think I'm like 800 and something, I don't know, but yeah, I really would love it if you could subscribe to my channel. Yeah, anything else that you'd like to ask me, comment below. Follow my socials: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything else at Lindsay Owens Aesthetics, the same as my name in YouTube. Yeah, I hope that helped, guys. I will see you very soon. Bye.